Okay, good afternoon, bowling fans, and welcome to Leisure Lanes in Lancaster, PA for the live-stream final of our 5th adult junior of the season. We're just getting everybody organized, and we'll introduce some bowlers in just a moment. So hang loose. I am going solo here today, so bear with me as I do multiple jobs here, but we're going to be going live with our first of 2 matches for the finals in a moment. Alright, everybody finalists out here for a moment.
I'm not a finalist.
Proud of you, dude. You rolled well.
Okay.
No, to make it.
So very simple. What we're going to do for the finalists is 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3 in head-to-head matches. Okay? But you'll all be bowling on the same pair. So essentially, I'll have 1 versus 4 on the top, 2 versus 3 on the bottom. Okay? When you come into your matches, you get 3 balls of practice on each lane. Okay? 3 balls, not 3 frames. Okay? 3 balls on each lane. And then once we get to the we have 2 winners from each match. Okay? Those 2 winners will then bowl each other 1 game for the title on the opposite pair. Okay? Once we get down to the 2 head-to-head match, then higher seed will have a choice of which lane they want to start and finish on. Okay? Scores are now going up and down, so I'll put your names in a moment. Handicap division, the difference of your 2 handicaps, so that'll be the easiest way for you. Okay? Scratch bowler.
Hey, grab it. Unless you're not a bowler Bellagio. Huh?
Handicap bowler. Rear ends are first. Emily and Josh, Haley and Josh. You look at the counter and just ask them to go with music. They realize it's being on. Okay, good afternoon, bowling fans, and welcome to Leisure Lanes for the finals of our 5th adult junior of the season. We are down to the final 4 teams in each division. We will have 2 semifinal matches at the same time, 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3. The winners of each match will then bowl each other for the title. I introduce our 4 remaining teams in each division. Starting with the scratch division, our number 4 seed team. We have Chase Byers and Cody Brenner. Our number 3 seed team is Ryan Schultz and Darnell Smith. In the first semifinal, they'll be taking on our number 2 seeds, Jacob Boxty and Gene Blair. And Chase and Cody will take on our tournament leaders. At plus 382 for 7 games is Evan Kimball and Nate Barnica. Bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our scratch division finalists for today's BJBT. All right, now it's time for the 4 handicap division finalists. Our number 4 seed is Lindsay and Chris Reardon. Our number 3 seed is Aaliyah Hall and Garth Garland.
In the first semifinal, Aaliyah and Garth will take on our number 2 seed, Emily Smith and Josh Gottwald. And Lindsay and Chris will take on our tournament leaders at plus 72 for 7 games is Kaylee Bourne and John Dudley. Let's have a nice hand for our 4 handicap teams for today's PKBT. All right, we'll get them all set up and we'll begin practice for our semifinal matches.
Good luck, Kaylee.
I hope so.
I'll say move left, push to the right.
Okay, bowling fans. Here while we are practicing, so we are down to the final 4 teams in each division. We're going to do a 1 versus 4 and 2 versus 3 match here. We're going to watch on live stream. They're going to all bowl at the same time, so we'll have the opponents across from each other. So on the left pair, which is your handicap pair, Haley and John, Chris, and Amelia and Mark. The difference in handicap is in the teams on the right lane, 57 for the top match, 1 in for the second match. And on the right pair, we have our 4 scratch teams remaining. We have Amy, Monica, taking on Josh, Chase Spires, and Josh Godwell. And then the other team, taking on Jonathan Schultz and Darnell Smith. So the winners of those semifinals will then swap pairs for the title. Okay? So thank everybody again for coming out today. We had 90 winners today, 49 teams. Down to the final 4 here in each division. Cash, 6 teams in handicap. Had more teams in handicap than scratch today. Also, many of you may want to know what the pattern was today. The center gave us the option to big bend today, so the pattern was big bend. And we had 1 honor score, that's Jacob Boston, here in the finals. That's 318 in the final being qualifying being 7. So he took home $4 and 300 pots. So the upcoming schedule for BJTT going forward this afternoon between 2 matches. We have 4 regular season events remaining after today, and the Girls Invitational. 4 regular season events, 2 of them are majors. Next Sunday's a major, and our 2 a.m. tournament coming up on May 19th is our final major for the regular season. We'll have a Mother's Day mulligan event in there, and a 12-hour event. So we're talking about the schedule coming up, and a lot of information there already Scott, you're saying you don't have any sound. Just to check, hear me, test 1, 2. this in here, please. Maybe I can. I can do this, so maybe that'll help the sound. You can hear me a little bit better. Just to make sure everybody can hear me. Yes. Basically, four season events after today. Two majors, the Dublin and Mother's Day Mulligan City. We get to the 3 weekends with Pro Bowls, and that's during the break between that match. What did I do? Oh. I know what I did.
Okay, bowling fans, time to begin our semifinal matches for today's PJBT Scratch Division. To your right, we have top seed Evan Kimball and Nate Barnica, top left, taking on number 4 seed Chase Spires and Cody Brenner, top right. On the bottom left, we have number 2 seed Jacob Boxty and Gene Blair, taking on number 3 seed, bottom right, Ryan Schultz and Darnell Smith. Winners of the 2 matches will face off on 3 and 4 for the title. On the handicap side, to your left, we have top seed Kaylee Bourne and John Dudley in the top left, taking on number 4 seed Lindsay and Chris Reardon, top right, 4 seed, and they get the difference in handicap, which is 57. And then in our second match, bottom left, number 2 seed Emily Smith and Josh Gottwall, taking on number 3 seed Aaliyah Hall and Garth Garland, bottom right. The difference in handicap is just 1 pin going to Aaliyah and Garth. All right, bowling fans, let's have a nice hand for our semifinalists.
Call your name.
Rock and roll.
So whenever you see her, just reserve this for your next week.
Okay, bowling fans. Lindsay with a strike. Just the volume on the microphone because they can't hear me. I checked the light and I couldn't even hear myself. No, it's at the low. Okay, I'll check it out. Thanks. Okay. Bye. fans. Let me know if you can hear us better there. As we just missed the volume a little bit. Okay, so our matches on the scratch side. First match, everybody wants to see. Gino Ortiz leaves a solid 9 hits his shot. Head-to-head match. The handicap side. Our first team is one Lee Smith gets a strike for the first shot. Five minutes. On the scratch side. Schultz with a strike. Space so 9 first. Thank you. I just turned it down a little bit. It was too low and it was too high, so now it's Darnell strike. The entire right lane is a strike. Gene Layer on 5 for GGT regular. Leaves the 2-7.
Remove that one pin down. 26 seconds.
Darnell Smith with a strike. Start their frame outside.
Did that bounce out?
It did. Okay, bowling fans, let me know if you can still hear me. Trying to fix the sound issue with the echo. Chase Myers with a strike in the third. 7 count for Nathan Barnica. He leaves the 4-7-9. Mark Harlow with a strike in lane 3. Woody Brunner gets the front 3. Emily Smith able to convert to 310. Baby split, so 20 in the first for her. 8 gets 2, so that will give him 54. Make that 55 in the third. Boxty with a strike in the third. The Messenger 7 pin.
Let's try that. That might be really because turn that off.
Turn this off.
Okay, that's good. Leave it like that. Now let's try it.
Okay, let's double check. Can everyone hear me a little bit better? Checking to see if you hear sound. Hopefully everybody can hear me. We're in frame number 3. Scratch division starting frame 4.
You're good.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so now that our sound is better, we've made an adjustment. Hopefully now you can hear me much better. Okay, so we are in finishing frame 3 in handicap, starting frame 4 in scratch. At the moment, Chase Byers, frame 4 leaves a 10 pin. He picks up the spare. So he's got 60 in the third. His partner, Cody Brunner, has the front 3. Their opponents, the tournament leaders, Evan Kimball and Nate Barnica. Evan left a 10 pin after going front 3. He picks up the spare. And Nate has double open as he had a split in the third. In our other match, Ryan Schultz and Darnell Smith both spared in the third after doubling the first 2. Their opponents, Jacob Boxty and Gene Blair, both had opens in the first, but then doubles in the second and third. So we'll cross over to the handicap side as they finish frame 3. Kaylee has 35 in the third, John with 38 in the second and a spare. Their opponents, Lindsay and Chris. Lindsay with spare, strike, 40 in the second. Chris has 36 in the third, so that match is pretty even without the handicap yet. And then our bottom match, Emily Smith just had left a split, so she has 46 in the third. Josh Gottwald up for his third shot. Comes up a little bit high, leaves a 6 pin. Their opponents, Aaliyah Hall and Garth Garland. Aaliyah has 26 in the second with a strike in the third. Garth has spare double in their match. Jacob Boxty with another strike, so he has now 3 in a row after the open in the first. His partner Gene will look to do the same. Ryan Schultz comes in high, leaves a 4 pin. Gottwald picks up his spare. Kaylee Bourne up in the fourth. She gets a strike, so that's her first strike of the match. So after 2 opens in the first 3 frames, she gets her first strike. Fourth frame for Gene Blair. A little high flush, 4-pin wiggle, 9 count. Lindsay Reardon with another strike in the fourth, so she's got a big game going. Strike, spare, double. Ryan Schultz picks up his spare, 68 in the third for him. Gene Blair gets his spare, 58 in the third for him. And John Dudley with a strike. So Kaylee and John with a perfect frame in the fourth. Here's Chris Reardon. He gets his first, I thought it was going to be a strike, but leaves a 9 pin. Almost had a 4-9 with the 4 sliding across the deck. Darnell leaves a 10 pin, so he'll look to pick up the spare. So again, these are semifinal matches. Matches are across from each other. Top 2 on each side of the scoreboard are bowling each other. Emily Smith gets her second strike of the match. Chris not able to convert his spare as the ball hooked at the last minute. 45 in the fourth for him. Darnell picks up his spare. 66 in the third for him. So on the scratch side, matches are pretty even. Our top match, we're at 134, 136. Bottom match is also about even. 7 count for Josh Gottwald. Leo Hall comes in high, leaves the 4-9. So she'll look to pick up the spare. Evan Kimball with a strike in the 5th, so he's got 99 in the 4th, 4 out of 5 strikes. Chase gets 6 pin. Gotwell picks up his spare. I get it. Okay. All right, so after a score change, left lane for a scratch, everybody with a strike, Box D with now 4 in a row. Garth Garland with a strike, that's a triple for him. Remember, that bottom match is only separated by 1 pin in the handicap, so Cody Brunner with a strike. He's at 96 in the 4th with 4 out of 5 strikes. Lindsay Reardon picks up her spare. She's at 89 in the 4th. Just a reminder, our message board is up and operational now that we believe we fixed the echo and you can hear well. Feel free to post a shout out to your favorite bowler. Let us know where you're watching from today. PJBT live here at Leisure Lanes in Lancaster, PA. Finals of today's 5th Adult Junior of the season. Sponsored by Mays Bowling and Billiards Pro Shop. I want to thank Ryan and Frankie May again for many years of support, as their pro shops are here at Leisure Lanes and also at Valero Burks Lanes in Sinking Spring, PA. They sponsor our events at both centers when we're there. Gene Blair with a strike in the 5th. Perfect frame on that side for the 2 teams. Kaylee not able to convert her spare. 63 in the 5th for her. Chris Reardon left a 5 pin. He picks up his spare. Darnell Smith up in the 5th. He gets a strike. 7 out of 8 strikes on the board. John Dudley with a double. High flush strike for Aaliyah Hall. So, good recovery shot after the open. 54 in the 4th. Strike in the 5th. Starting the 6th frame on the scratch side. Tournament leader Evan Kimball comes in high. 4, 6, 7, 10. First error probably of the match. So he'll try to get count. Meanwhile, his opponent, Chase Spires, goes 10 back, although it was quite delayed. Pin almost did not fall off the deck. 99 in the 5th for Chase. Evan gets 1, so that'll give him 123 in the 6th. Strike for Emily Smith on handicap. She's got a double, same as John above her. Now Garth up in the 5th, looking for 4 in a row. He gets a strike, so 4 in a row for him. Nate comes in high, leaving the 4-6. Gotwell with a strike in the 5th, so he's got 86 in the 4th. Cody Brunner also with a strike, that gives him a double. So, our tournament leaders, Evan and Nate, both potentially with opens here in the 6th. That will actually put them behind in the match. is Chase Spires and Cody Brunner can still shoot in the 500s. Their max score at the moment is going to be about 480. So they have the lead in the match. Ryan Schultz with another strike. So he can still shoot 260. Back on handicap as they start frame 6. Lindsay Reardon leaves the 247. Makes the spare. Kaylee Bourne leaving a 9-pin, so she'll try to convert that. Boxty looking for 5 in a row. Leaves a 7-pin. Kaylee picks up her spare. Chase Spires got a shout out from Peyton. I take it his sister. So hello Peyton, thanks for joining us. Reardon comes in high, leaving the Greek Church 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. So that will be a tough spare to make. Ryan Schultz got a strike in the 6th. Darnell, his partner, comes in high, leaves the 6-10. So he'll try to convert his spare. Dudley with a strike on lane 4. That gives him a triple. Got it. Good call there, Peyton. Proud older brother, she says. Darnell gets 1. So open frame there for Darnell. 114 in the 6th. Emily Smith with another strike. She's got 3 in a row. There's a strike for Aaliyah Hall, so she has a double. Good recovery shot there for Evan Kimball. Chase Spires leaves a 10-pin. Meanwhile, Josh Godwall with a strike. So Emily and Josh got some strike strings going there. Nate Barnico with a strike. So good recovery shots for her tournament leading team. Both open in the 6th. Garth did not like that one off his hand. Leaves the 210. Makeable split. Chase Spires picks up his spare. 119 in the 6th. Still max out at 259. His opponent, Cody Brunner, can shoot 276. They would still be in the 500s at the moment. Lindsay Reardon with a strike. She gets a crossover for a lefty strike. Boxty with a messenger strike. Head pin to the sideboard. Takes out the 7-pin. Garth gives it a good effort. Not able to convert, so 134 in the 6th for him. Cody Brunner goes wide, 6 count. And Chris Reardon leaves a 10-pin. We're going to go 6-3, so 150 in the 7th for him. Chris Reardon also not able to convert his spare, so 77 in the 7th for him. Yeah, go ahead and change it. As long as you saw it. Okay. They got it. Okay, we're finishing the 7th frame on each side. All right, let's take a look at our matches. At the moment, scoreboard shows that the first match between Chase and Cody, Evan and Nate, pretty even as Evan and Nate have a streak working to the 8th. Our other match shows 250 to 260, both teams with marks going in. So both scratch matches still anybody's game. On the handicap side, we've got a bunch of strings going here. Josh Gottwald left a split, so he will have 141 in the 7th. So these matches start the 8th. Kaylee leaves a 4-pin. Same thing for Nate Barnica. There's a strike for Lindsay Reardon. So big game for Lindsay Reardon going 126 in the 6th with 2 strikes. Trying to help pick up her partner, Chris. Kaylee not able to convert her spare, so 110 in the 8th for her. On the scratch side, Chase Byers with 8 spare in the 8th. Evan with a strike to make a double. Nate gets a spare. Cody Brunner with a strike. So 280, 254. So Chase and Cody have the lead in that match. Good shot there for John Dudley. He had 4 in a row going. Leaves a 10-pin. Jacob Boxty with a strike in the No, solid 9. Sorry. Ryan Schultz. That's a strike in the 8th. So that match is pretty even also. John picks up his spare, so 167 in the 7th. He can max out at 247. There's a strike for Aaliyah Hall. 8 spare earlier for Chris Reardon. So again, these are our semifinal matches. Matches are across from each other, so 2 semifinal matches at the same time. Winners will then bowl each other on the opposite pair for the title. Darnell Smith with a good shot, leaving the 10 pin. Gene Blair with a strike in the 7th, so 147 with a strike. Emily Smith with a strike. That's 5 in a row for her. Big shot there for her. Keeping her team in the lead at the moment. Garland comes in high, leaves the 310 baby split. So he'll try to convert the spare. Darnell with a spare in the 8th, so scratch division starting the foundation 9th frame. Shout out Go Emily from Jamie Schultz. Josh Godwald with a strike in the 8th, so that's a big shot for them. Right now, that matchup, the difference is Emily Smith and her big game. Foundation 9th, Evan Kim comes in high flush with a strike. So that's 3 in a row for him. He can still shoot 243. Garth picks up his spare. And the handicap side will advance to the foundation 9th frame. Chase Spires comes in high, leaves a 610. So with a conversion, he can get to 205. Lindsay Reardon working on a double. Comes in high, 2, 4, 7, 10. So she'll try to convert her spare. Nate Barnico with a strike in the 9th. So he can still shoot 211, so their team can max out in the 450. Right now, Chase Spires gets his spare, barely, but gets his spare. He can max out at 205. His opponent can shoot 240, so they can shoot 440. So that match is anybody's game. Meanwhile, Lindsay Reardon with a great shot there, converting the 247-10. Bourne leaves a 5-pin, not able to convert. 119 in the 9th for her. Jacob Boxty with a strike. He can max out at 238. His opponent, Gene Blair, can shoot 237, so they can be in the 470s. However, their opponents, Ryan Schultz, Cody with a strike. Ryan Schultz can shoot 247. Darnell can strike out for 213, so they'd be at 460. So that's anybody's match yet. John Dudley comes in light, leaves the 2-pin. So anything can happen yet in these matches. Ryan Schultz with a strike. Big strike there in the 9th for him. Leah Hall comes in high, 36-10. scratch matches will clearly come down to the 10th frame. John gets his spare. Chris Reardon with a strike. 7 count for Aaliyah. So Aaliyah can only max out now at 193 with the spare. Her partner Garth Garland can shoot 223. And they get 1 pin handicap, so they would be in the 410, 420 range. But right now, Josh Gottwald can shoot 230. Emily Smith can still shoot 250. Darnell comes in light, high rather, 610. Big strike there for Emily Smith, giving her 6 in a row. That will keep their team in the lead of the match. Jean gets a 7 count, makes the spare. So Jacob and Jean can only max out at about 450. Darnell and Ryan can only max out at about 450. So that match is pretty much dead even going into the 10th. So these 2 scratch matches can literally come down to the last shot here. Handicap side, Josh Gottwald with a strike. So Smith and Gottwald have a demanding lead in that match. In the top match, is pretty even. So we'll see where everything plays out as we start the 10th frame on both sides. So every shot big here now. First shot in the 10th is a strike for Lindsay Reardon. First shot in the 10th comes up high, 6-7 for Evan Kimber. So that is a big miss for their team. He's gonna need to convert that spare. Haley Bourne, better shot, leaves a 10 pin. She'll try to convert the spare. Chase Spires with a strike. First ball of the 10th. That's a big one for their team. Second strike for Lindsay Reardon. Gilly makes the spare. Evan gets 1, so that will give him a final score of 209. Lindsay will have a really good game here, considering her entering average of 147. She shoots 221. So big game there for Lindsay. Trying to pick up Chris. Chase Spires goes wide, leaving the 1-2-4, but more importantly, their opponents, Nate Barnica, just got a 5 count. So the match was about even, but now open in the 10th for Evan, possible open in the 10th for Nate. Chase finishes out, shoots 194. Kaylee Bourne posts 137 final score. 9 count for Chris Reardon, so the max score he can shoot is 137 scratch. John Dudley with a strike, so he'll have a decent game. Chris picks up his spare. John Dudley with a strike, so he will shoot in the 230s. But their team does look like they will be short, as Lindsay Reardon's really good game will carry her and Chris into the final match. Chris gets an 8 count, so he shoots 135 with their handicap difference of 57. That gives them 413 and a victory over Kaylee and John. John shoots 236. The final score in that match will be 413 to 373. So Reardon's will advance. On the second side here, Aaliyah with a 9 spare. Emily comes in high, string ends at 6, but she will be in the 230s with a spare. Cody Brunner with a strike in the first ball of the 10th, big triple for him. So Evan on the script, our tournament leaders, Evan shot 209 with an open in the 10th. Nate shot 179 in the 10th, so they shoot 388. Big first strike there for Jacob Boxty. So Emily. Cody with a strike now will be around 240. Their team will be at 430. And Chase and Cody, Chase Spires, Cody Brunner will advance to the title match. On the handicap side, Emily Smith finishes with 220 scratch. Okay, so Emily shoots 220. Josh Gottwald with a 214. So they shoot 434 in victory.
Come on, one time. Yes, let's go.
So our number 2 and 4 seeds in the handicap division will advance. Leah Hall finishes with 181. Garth Garland will shoot 208 with their 1-pin handicap. So that match will end with a final score of 434 to 390. Smith and Gottwald defeat Hall and Garland. Now we'll go over to the scratch side. Final score for the first match.
Yes.
Final score for the first match is 432. Spires and Brunner 432.
to 388. Victory over Kimball and Arnica. So both of our 4 seeds knock out the top seeds on each side. Now our other match in scratch. Ryan Schultz finishes out with a big strikeout, 247 for him. Meanwhile, Jacob Boxty went strike spare in the 10th, so he's got 227. So a 20-pin difference there. So it comes down to the adult bowlers. Gene Blair leaving a 10-pin. Very interesting there. So it all comes down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Darnell comes in high, 3-6-10. So the max score he can shoot is 188. That would put their team in the 435 range. So Gene Blair can shoot 206 max with a spare, but that puts them in the 430s also. So it's literally going to come down to the count here. If Darnell would spare and strike, they'd have 435. Gene Blair with a strike puts his team at 433. So he's going to need the spare. He gets the spare. So now Smith will need a 9 count to shut him out. 9 pins. 435, 433 is the max scores. Gene Blair gets the strike for 206, so that gives them 433. So Darnell will need a 9 count. 9 or 10, and they advance. 8, we have a tie. Anything less is a loss. He needs 9 pins. Needs 9. He gets 10. I couldn't see it. I don't know how he did it, but he got 10. And it's a 2-pin victory. 435 to 433. And that, my friends, knock out the top 2 seeds in some really close matches. 435 to 433. So, Schultz and Smith over Boxty and Blair. All right, so that'll wrap up our semifinals. We're going to have a bunch of awards to give out. So hang in there. We'll give out some awards, and then we're going to start the title matches. So stay tuned. You are watching the PJBT live on YouTube. We will be back with our title matches in just a little bit.
I'm gonna slide down here. Oh no. Oh no.
Tell you what, my guess is Rusty probably already had it already typed in, and all you needed to do was press send.
That's all right.
Okay, bowling fans, that concludes our exciting semifinal matches for today's tournament. Officially finishing in 4th place in the scratch division. The team receiving a total payout of $160. That's 80 scholarship for the youth and 80 for the adult bowler. Goes to the team of Jacob Boxty and Gene Blair.
I'll see you around. Gene, good ball. Yeah, you too. Good ball, Ryan. Yeah, good ball.
And officially our 3rd place finishers in the scratch division. Youth bowler getting an $80 scholarship and the adult bowler an $80 payout. Goes to the team of Evan Kimball and Nate Barnica. Okay, our 4th place finishers in the handicap division. The youth bowler receiving a $100 scholarship and the adult bowler a $100 payout. Goes to the team of Aaliyah Hall and Garth Garland. And officially our 3rd place finishing team in the handicap division. The youth bowler receiving a $100 scholarship, the adult bowler a $100 payout. Goes to the team of Kaylee Bourne and John Dudley. All right, on to our title matches for today's tournament.
I didn't mean to give you a hard time.
Okay. Ryan Yarnell, Chase Cody. 3 balls on each lane. Don't worry about the scoring yet, because I'll fix that at the count. Okay? But in practice, over here, Emily, Josh, Lindsay, and Chris. Okay? 3 balls on each lane. Don't worry about the scoring. I'll set that all up. Okay? All right. All right, bowling fans, I'll be back in a moment. We'll talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule for PJVT. Let me just get the title matches all set up for you.
Sorry.
Oh, that's right. That's it. Hopefully we're good.
Hey, Brian, hold up.
Okay, bowling fans, so we are getting ready for the title matches for today's PJBT. Ironically, the number 3 and 4 seeds in scratch and the number 2 and 4 seeds in handicap will be the ones bowling for the title. Okay. Just a reminder, upcoming schedule for the PJBT next Sunday. We will have our 9th major of the season. Major singles will be at 222 Dutch Lanes in Ephrata, starting at 10 a.m. Following Sunday, April the 28th, 21 and under doubles event will be at Bolero Limerick Bowl in Limerick, PA, starting at 10 a.m. Sunday, May the 5th, is our Open Girls Invitational to all girls, starting at 10 a.m. at ABC East Lanes in Harrisburg. The following week, we'll have our Mother's Day Mulligan singles at ABC North Lanes in Harrisburg, and we'll finish off the regular season with our 2 a.m. tournament at Steel City Bowl and Brews on Sunday, May the 19th. And then we'll talk about championship weekend and the 3 big events coming up in June to start our postseason. So I'll talk about that a little bit as we get our title matches going.
matches for today's PJBT Adult Junior event here at Leisure Lanes in Lancaster, sponsored by Maze Pro Shop. On the scratch side, we have number 3 seed Ryan Schultz and Darnell Smith taking on number 4 seed Chase Byers and Cody Brunner. Ryan and Darnell have elected to start the match on lane 4. On the handicap side, we have number 2 seed Emily Smith and Josh Gottwald taking on number 4 seed Lindsay and Chris Reardon. Emily and Josh have elected to start the match on lane 5, and the difference in handicap is 59 going to the Reardons. All right, bowling fans, let's give a nice hand for our title matches for today's PJBT.
All right. Follow your lead. Mark, ready to roll. All right, bowling fans, going to begin our title matches. Just a reminder also, as we start these title matches, information is now available for our championship weekend with the Pro Bowlers from the PBA. This year, May 31st, June 1st, and June 2nd, we will be at Chaco's Family Bowling Center in Wilkes-Barre for all of the events. Friday night is the Pro Skins Roll-Off. Saturday is the Pro-Am and our Adult Junior event. And the top finishers from the Adult Junior will take on one of the PBA professionals Saturday night in the Skins match. And then Sunday morning is our award ceremony and invitational championship, $1,000 guaranteed top prize, and to be enshrined in the invitational champion on a banner in the bowling center for every year after, as for our invitational event. The following weekend, June 8th and 9th, will be our Masters Tournament, 10th annual Masters Tournament, and that will be at Rose Bowl First in Allentown. Second round of qualifying and finals this year will be at Jordan Lanes in Allentown. $1,500 top prize in scratch, $1,000 top prize in handicap. And these last 2 events I'm mentioning, Masters and Best, you can use scholarship money to enter the events if you'd like. And then we'll be back here at Leisure Lanes to finish off the calendar. Father's Day weekend is our big $5,000 guaranteed first place tournament, the Best Scholarship Tournament, sponsored by Buddy's Pro Shop. We'll be back here at Leisure Lanes in Lancaster for the biggest event to finish off the year, and it is our 20th anniversary Best event here at Leisure Lanes. We just were informed this week that Buddy's Pro Shop will be adding $1,500 to the prize fund for the Best tournament, so we're very excited. We'll be back here June 14, 15, and 16 weekend for the Best tournament. Our Baker Trio Doubles warm-up event is Friday night. Qualifying all day Saturday, 2 squads. Sunday is our finals. Now, back to the action. So far, the scoreboard on the scratch side was perfect. Through a frame and a half for Ryan and Darnell. Chase started with a strike, but left a 6-pin in the second. Cody got a strike. Handicap side, Emily Smith started with a 7 miss in the first. Josh got a strike. Lindsay went spare strike in the first. Chris Reardon with 9 in the first. So again, these are our title matches for today's event. Smith comes in light, leaves a 5-pin. Emily in the second comes up high, leaves the 4, 6, 7. So she might go back-to-back opens to start the title match. Cody Brunner with a strike in the second. So if Darnell can get a spare here, our scratch match will be even through 2 frames. Reardon comes in high, leaves a 4, 6, 7, 10. So he will probably have back-to-back opens also to start the match. Darnell gets his spare, and the match for scratch is even through 2 frames. Chris gets 2, so he'll have 17 in the second. Difference in the match is at the bottom now. Gottwall with a pocket 7-10. So unfortunately, Smith and Gottwall probably going to put up a brick wall here in the second. Ryan Schultz gets a strike in the third. Chase comes in high, leaves a 6-pin. So he'll try to pick up his spare. 28 in the second for Josh. Difference is 62 with the handicap at the moment. Just checking the message board, as some of you have been commenting, as we had some exciting ends to the first match. Doug would like to know how Lindsay's back is holding up, helping Chris keep Chris afloat. She did. She had a great first game there, and she's off to a pretty good start here in the second and final match. Spare strike. She has 7 count.
There we go.
Darnell Smith with a strike in the third. So if Cody Brunner gets a strike here, our 2 scratch teams will be separated by 1 pin through the third. Emily not able to get hooked up on this pair like the first pair. She leaves the 1, 2, 8, her third 7 count in a row. Lindsay picks up her spare. Cody Brunner did get a strike, so 1 pin separate our 2 scratch teams, 3 frames in. Emily picks up the spare, gets her first mark of the match. Ryan Schultz with the front 4 as he gets a strike. Chris Reardon crosses over, gets a strike. So sometimes when you're struggling, you take it however you can get it. Chase Spires comes in high, leaves the 4, 6, 7. So he'll need to try to convert his spare. Josh Gottwall with a strike. The Messenger 7-pin. Chase gets 2, so 65 in the fourth for him. Big shot here now for Darnell Smith. If he can get a strike, him and Ryan will take the lead in the match. Darnell comes in high, 3, 6. Emily Smith, another 7 count. So 4 7 counts to start the match. She comes in high, 3, 6, 10. Lindsay, pretty good shot, leaves a 10-pin. Cody Brunner comes in high, breaks up the split, leaves the 9-pin. Emily picks up her spare, 33 in the third for her. Lindsay not able to convert, 68 in the fourth for her. But the Reardons still have the lead in the match. Darnell picks up his spare. So the scoreboard shows an 8-pin lead, which will will be trimmed here if Cody makes his spare. Josh Gottwald gets a double. So about a 6-pin difference on the scoreboard. But the open from Chase means that that match is, they're down about 15. Chris Reardon in the fourth comes up high, leaves 6, 7, 10. So unfortunately, he may have a third open in 4 frames. Chase comes in high again, leaves the 6, 7. So he may have back-to-back opens.
Come on, push. Come on, Mace.
Ooh. Ryan Schultz comes in light and leaves a 5-7 that's not a 5.
Huh?
All it in.
5-7.
Yeah. And 3-7 is a 5.
Add the 5 on 4, so it's the 5-7 up there.
After 5 on 4.
Yes.
All right, hold on.
Okay, Lindsey Reardon gets 9 spare in the 5th. After Chris Reardon had an open, so 43 in the 4th for him. So Smith and Gottwald. Gottwald's got some strikes going, but Emily's got to help him here. Because they have to make up the handicap difference of 50, 57. No, 59. Sorry about that, 59. See if she can get lined up here. She's got a bunch of 7 counts on the board. There she gets a strike. So good shot there. High flush strike, first strike of the match. We're awaiting a 5-pin on lane 4 as the 5-pin was offset and then knocked over by the rack, so they will reset that up. Chris Reardon, crossover strike. So he's got 2 strikes, kind of on a crossover method on the right lane. Gottwald can trim the lead to 39 with a strike here in the 5th. Schultz gets 1, so that'll give him 116 in the 5th. So he's about 42 pins ahead of his opponent across from him. Gottwald trips it out, gets a triple. That cuts the lead to 39. Cody Brunner comes in light, leaves a 2-5. So he'll try to pick up the spare. Again, these are our title matches for today's PJBT. Leisure Lanes, Lancaster, PA. Lindsey Reardon with a strike in the 6th. Darnell Smith comes in high, leaves the 6-10. So he'll try to convert the spare. Cody gets his spare. Emily comes in high, leaves the 6-10. So she'll try to convert her spare. We are halfway through the title match on the scratch side to your left. Darnell picks up the spare, and they have a 23 pin lead rather. 23 pin lead for Schultz and Smith.
Gotta try something else. Outrageous.
Chris Reardon throws a great shot, probably his best shot of the match, and he leaves a 7-pin. Meanwhile, Emily picks up her spare, so 73 in the 5th for her. So the big shot will be Gottwald as he can gain 30 on the board with another strike. Chase comes in high. It seems like everybody's having issues with the ball coming up early now as we get into the late games here of the Big Ben pattern today. 3-6-9 for Chase. Ryan picks up the spare. Chris able to convert a spare. 63 in the fifth for him. Chase makes his spare. Big shot here, Josh Gottwald. He gets a strike. 4 in a row for him. Trims the lead to 29 for the Reardon. So the Reardon lead is down to 29 with the handicap. Thanks to Josh's 4 in a row. On the scratch side rather. 23 pins separate our two teams. Darnell Smith up here in the 6th. Extends the lead with a strike. Lindsay comes in high, 4-6-10, frame 7. Cody with a strike, also to match. 117 in the 5th for him. 23 pins still separate our two scratch teams as they start frame 7. Again, you're watching the title match for today's PJBT Adult Junior event here at Leisure Lanes in Lancaster. Lindsay gets 2, so that'll post 116 on the scoreboard. Ryan Schultz comes in high, leaves the 310. So controlling the ball down lane seems to be the issue right now on this pattern, as everybody's ball seems to be jumping early. Same thing there for Chase. That ball read in the middle part of the lane. Hooked up early, 6-10. Emily Smith has the same problem. Her ball grabbed in the middle of the lane. Came up high, 3-6. So she'll try to convert the spare. Schultz gets 1, so 143 in the 7th for him. So an important spare here for Chase. And he chops it. Chops the 6 off the 10. So he hands the option right back with 101 in the 7th. Emily picks up the spare, barely, as you can hear from the crowd. Chris Reardon leaving a 7-8 split. Let's see if he can cover this. No, he gets 1. So he has 90 in the 7th. So a brick wall in the 7th for the Reardons. So a strike here from Josh Gottwald, and the lead can be cut to 16. Meanwhile, still a 23-pin difference on the scratch side. Darnell gets a big double there. So a good ball adjustment for Darnell Smith. Josh gets a strike in the 7th. So Josh is hot. He's got 5 in a row. And the difference in the match is down to 16. Brunner gets another strike, and the match is still 23 pins. That has been the magic number now for the scratch match for like 2 frames. As they have matched shot for shot, so as we start the 8th, 23 pin difference on the scratch side, 16 pins on the handicap. Lindsay Reardon comes in light, leaves a 3-pin. Ryan Schultz does the same. See, I think everybody's starting to try to adjust to the fact that the ball's reading early and now they're coming in light. 2-pin there for him. Let's see what Chase can do. He gave it room, but it didn't finish. Leaves the 7-pin. So try to pick up his spare. Lindsay picks up her spare. Ryan does the same. Chase picks up his spare. Emily in the 8th. Good shot, leaves a 10 pin. If you liked it. Chris Reardon up in the 8th. Comes in high, leaves the 310, baby split. So this is a big spare for Emily. Darnell with a strike in the 8th. So big shot there, high flush, trips out the 9. Emily not able to convert her spare, so 119 in the 8th. Cody Brunner with a strike to match Darnell in the 8th, so we head to the foundation 9th. It's still 23 pins. It's been the difference since frame 6. Chris Reardon not able to convert his spare. 99 in the 8th for him. And now with a strike here, Josh Gottwald can give their team the lead. Nope, comes in high, leaves the 247. So with a spare here, the match will be almost even on the handicap side. Schultz leaves a 10 pin. Gottwald gets 3, so 165 in the 7th for him, and that gives Emily and Josh the lead. They lead by 10. Chase comes in light, leaves the 2-5. So survival of the fittest kind of here at the end. Schultz picks up the spare. Lindsay comes in light, leaves the 10 pin. So she'll try to pick up the spare. And Chase chops the spare, so 128 in the 9th for him. Lindsay also not able to convert, 144 in the 9th for her. Big shot here for Darnell. I mean, if Darnell can strike, they will have the driver's seat going into the 10th frame. Comes in high, leaves a 6 pin.
I'll be there.
Emily Smith with a strike in the 9th, so that's a big one for them. Cody gets a strike to keep him in the match. He's keeping him afloat as he can shoot 267. Crossover strike for Chris Reardon, his 3rd strike of the match. Darnell with a spare. So they start the 10th frame. Max score they can get in the 10th is 80. The other team can get 90, so it's about a 14 pin difference at the moment. Now first tough shot for Josh Gottwald in the 10th. Or in the 9th rather. Comes in high, 6, 7, 10, so he's going to try to get count. And that means our handicap match will go into the 10th frame, basically dead even, 1 open, 1 strike, and it is an 8-pin lead. So the Emily Smith and Josh Gottwald have an 8-pin lead going into the 10th frame. Now on the scratch side, we start the 10th. Chase gets a strike, while Ryan Schultz left a 4-pin. Ryan Schultz picks up the spare. Lindsay Reardon, first shot, comes in high. 2-7, tricky spare. Baby split 4, in a sense, from a normal, like, left-handed bowler shot. The way she throws it into the pocket, it does come in like a left-handed bowler. Chase comes in light, 2-5, so he can only shoot 148. That would be his max. Foul line says that it's a foul, so she will shoot 152. Ryan Schultz finishes with 201 in the title match. Chase gets 2, so 148 for Chase. So it all comes down to the bottom bowler. It's about a 13 pin difference right now. So Cody needs to strike out. He would need that would force Darnell to get a mark in the 10th. Meanwhile, Emily Smith goes in high, leaves a 3-pin. Cody gets the first. So Cody Brunner is going to have a big game here to try to salvage it for their team. He could still shoot 267. Darnell will need he could force Darnell to get a mark in the 10th frame. Emily picks up her spare, so she can max at 159. Just a reminder, no final interviews. No final interviews. We will give out awards and wrap up the show. And then don't forget to join us next week from 222 Dutch Lanes for the finals of our 9th major of the season. She gets 8. So 157 for Emily. Shot here for Chris Reardon. Misses the head pin left and gets a 6 count. So Josh is going to have to keep the ball in the lane. Big strike there for Josh Gottwald. And that will wrap it up. Ryan Schultz and Darnell Smith are going to be our Scratch Division champions. And Emily Smith and Josh Gottwald is going to capture the handicap title today. Nice game there for Cody Brunner. Finishes with 256. Team game 404.
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Darnell Smith picks up his spare, and it is a 14-pin victory, 418 to 404 for our scratch teams. And on the handicap side, it is a win for Emily Smith and Josh Gottwald. 378 to 348 is the final score.
So we had some really exciting matches there today to finish off today's final regular season adult junior event. 348 works. Okay. All right, so we're going to give out some final awards. And then we'll wrap up the show. So stay tuned. You're watching the PJBT live on YouTube. Time to give out some final hardware for today's event.
Yeah, all the way down 21, 22.
You need some help?
That's my part. Hey, I told her you was gonna live with this. Yeah, she pulled it.
What about Darnell?
Yeah.
What about mine? My daughter got me teared up. I'm good. Matt?
Okay. Hold on a second. Let's get it all down there first. Oh.
She won it on her last one. That's great. She ate us out, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's why I was a little emotional. Next time you see her, probably call. I mean, community college in Bull Hill.
Oh, gotcha.
Hey, hey, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, bowling fans, that concludes today's BJBT from here at Leisure Lanes in Lancaster, our 5th adult junior of the season, sponsored by Mays Pro Shop. Our runner-up finishers in the handicap division. The youth bowler receiving a $125 scholarship, and the adult bowler a $125 cash payout goes to the team of Chase Spires and Cody Brunner. Our runner-up finishers in the handicap division. The youth bowler getting a $150 scholarship, and the adult bowler a $150 payout. Goes to the team of Lindsay and Chris Reardon. And wait, one more. Paper. And there you go. Nice bowl. Okay, now our winners for today in the scratch division, starting with the scratch adult, receiving a $200 cash payout, And the first place plaque goes to Darnell Smith.
Okay, we'll get a picture in a minute.
And his partner, our youth scratch champion, receiving a $200 scholarship, and the first place acrylic plaque goes to Ryan Schultz.
I'll get a picture in a moment. Okay? All right.
On the handicap side for our champions, the adult bowler receiving a $200 cash payout, and the first place plaque goes to Josh Gottwald. And his handicap youth partner champion in the handicap division, getting a $200 scholarship, and the first place acrylic plaque goes to Emily Smith. All right, we'll get a picture with our winners, and then we'll wrap up the show. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday afternoon from down the road at 222 Dutch Lanes in Ephrata, PA. We'll have the finals of our 9th singles major of the season next Sunday, April 21st, and we'll be on next Sunday afternoon from Ephrata. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, winners, just plaques. Just plaques. Right in the middle here. I'm gonna give that to you. Okay. Flip flop with the adult on the outside. Okay, you two come on in. Adult on the outside. Put Emily in the middle. Squeeze together. Squeeze together. Squeeze together. There we go.
Probably stand in front of the camera. If it's being televised.
Perfect. All right, congratulations. Okay. Okay, bowling fans, that's going to do it today from Leisure Lanes here in Lancaster. We hope you enjoyed today's event. Don't forget to tune in next Sunday afternoon from 222 Dutch Lanes. We'll have the finals of our 9th singles major next Sunday, April the 21st, from 222 Dutch Lanes in Ephrata. Don't forget to sign up online in advance for next Sunday's major at pjbtbowlingseries.com. All right, have